Hey, what's up, guys? Nate here from Protoculture and Sonic Academy. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a overview of a track we did with a full course on how to sound like Meduza. Now, Meduza's been killing it at the moment in the charts. We're going to be taking a look at one of their sort of more commercial tracks. We're using Lose Control as the basis of the inspiration for the track that we're going to do. We've got a vocal for this one as well. This is from Able Faces. Now, there is a full vocal production walkthrough available at Sonic Academy covering how these vocals were put together. We're going to be using that and creating our own track in the style of Meduza for this one. You can go check out the full course now at Sonic Academy, where everything is covered in detail, right from the start of the production all the way through to the mix down and mastering. This video, we're just going to do sort of an overview of the track. I'll look at some of the channels and show you what went into the production. I'm using Bitwig 4 for this. We try to stick to as many stock plugins as possible. There are a few third-party plugins in there. I've tried to keep them free plugins where possible, and in the event that I'm using something else, I'll give you an alternative what you can use there as well. Right, so let's dive in. We're going to check this out. Right, let's take a brief listen to a little section of the track so you can hear what's going on here. Right, so let's get into it. So this is loosely based on Lose Control from Meduza. Not an exact copy, of course, but just to take some of the elements and sort of study the style a little bit. Let's just take a look at the drums first. I'll run you through everything. We've got a master channel here, which is our mastering setup, or master bus. In the project for the Bitwig walkthrough, we have both Bitwig plugins and then a third-party version as well. Let's jump into the drums first. Here's our drum mix. So in the walkthrough, we've tried to stick to mostly Bitwig stock plugins. There's one or two exceptions, like Newfangled Saturate, which I used here as a clipper. It's my sort of default clipper. There's plenty of options to replace that. Standard clip is a good option. Also, the free clip shifter from LVC Audio will do just fine in this. And there's a number of other places where you can substitute stuff very easily. The kick is coming from Kick 2. Started off with the standard kick and then kind of just changed things around to suit the track, running it into a little bit of compression from Bitwig's compressor, some EQ from EQ Plus, and then running into multi-band effects. We did a little bit of clipping, but we didn't want to push too much of the lows through the clipper, so I actually split the two just to clip the high frequency content, just to make sure that there was no peaks coming through and just kind of add a little bit of bite to the attack of the kick. No processing on this one, but inside of that we've got claps. So we did a instrument layer here with numerous different claps from Sonic Academy's Ultimate Drums 2 library. They are panned in different ways. If you flick through these, you can see the panning controls are inside of the actual sampler channels here. We did some panning and volume controls. Then ran everything through a peak limiter and added some EQ to the final mix of those. We've also got this little tom loop, which was done with eTom. Some room shots coming from a 909 kit that comes with Bitwig as well. Both of those just being EQ'd and limited slightly. Then we've got this percussion loop from Ultimate Drums once again. Really wanted this to kind of just fill in some of the mids, so we've got that kind of quite filtered down, run through a compressor. And I did use Shaper Box in this project. It's a massive time saver for me. There's plenty of alternatives again to this, and you can actually do a lot of this with Bitwig's sidechain compression as well. Just for the sake of time, I kept these in the project. Let's check out the hats now as well. There is a very sharp little closed hi-hat. Kind of provides a lot of transients for the kick as well, and just sort of punctuates everything nicely, nice and snappy. that is just got some EQ on it. Got an open hi-hat there. Again, these are Ultimate Drums 2, and it's 2 layered ones. The one channel is actually it's being side-chained, and this one has got a slight harsh effect on it just to kind of open it up. I also just took off a little bit of the attacks here because those hats were quite sharp, and I didn't want them to interfere with each other. Shaker loop. This actually came from a third-party library. I just didn't have any thing that suited the track from the Ultimate Drums 2 library. So we did bring in an instance of a shimmer, shake, strike. This is a great library if you want sort of shakers and tambourines and things. Just grabbed something out of that to just make up that sort of loose feeling that we wanted with the drums. Lastly, we just got a drum room set up here, just using a convolution from Bitwig again, EQ'd the reverb slightly, and then to put everything back together again. That's our basic drum beat. So let's bring in the bottom end now. We'll bring in the bass. There are 2 separate layers here. One is a sort of more mid-range percussive bass. Both of these were done in Anna and actually built from the ground up. Yeah, that one's it's a little bit soft, but it's really just there to kind of just add a little bit of rhythm to the bass. The full sound design is in the full walkthrough at Sonic Academy. Same goes for this guy. Again, Anna 2, just a nice sort of low pad bass, detuned saw waves. Running that through a compressor with quite slow attack, just to kind of level things out when the keys change and that there's not too much movement with the unison of the saw. We're also running that through saturation knob from Softtube, which is a great little free plugin. This Bitwig doesn't have. It's got plenty of distortion, but I don't find anything that's sort of more analog kind of tone. But this is a great option to use as well, so you can go grab that for free. A little bit of EQ to shape a box just to duck it underneath the kick. And we've got some filters on here as well, just to kind of control the arrangement a little bit with the bass line. That's pretty much it for the bass channel. We'll come down to this group over here, which is our lead. It's not a very complex track as far as the leads are concerned. A lot of the track is being sort of driven by the vocals. This sound we also built from scratch, again using Anna 2. It's essentially made up of a couple of detuned square waves and a few other waves mixed in just to kind of build this slightly richer sound. Through a delay, a reverb, a filter again just for arrangement purposes, cutting off some of the lows there too. You'll see it's actually duplicated this section. This one I cut off a little bit more of the lows and dropped the volume slightly. At the end of the track, we needed something just to kind of pick things up a little bit, and I actually went up a fifth with these and then adjusted the pattern slightly. So we have this towards the end of the track. Provide a little bit of variation and a little bit more energy for the last drop of the track. Accompanying these leads, there's some pad sounds as well. The first one is also from Anna. This one kind of filters in and out. It's just a pad sound that has been run through a flanger, some reverb, bit of volume automation. And it pretty much plays the same note, just provides some of the atmosphere for the track. And we just bring it in and out with filters the whole time, filters and volume automation. And also with that, in some of the heavier chorus sections, we've got these high strings. And those just come from the Bitwig sampler. There's an orchestral tools section with some orchestral strings that are sampled. We just bounce these to audio as well, so we could cut these off easily at some of these breaks. Lastly, effects. Not a whole lot going on here, just a couple of noise sweeps. Very subtle as well, crash cymbals, and we've got a house snare that we put in here. Take a listen to this one. So this one we did a couple of automation bits on various different parts of the sampler and assigned everything to a macro so we could just easily automate that throughout the track where we needed to. Right, so let's dive into the vocals as well. That's the last part of the puzzle here. Our vocals pretty much drive the whole track. So these are from Able Faces, the walkthrough being at Sonic Academy as well, on how this was written. We've got sort of a verse, a bridge, and then the chorus. We duplicated these out a number of different times to do various different things with them. There's quite a bit of stuff going on here. So the sort of lead vocal is just treated with Sonic Academy's SA76. This is used in a few places on the drum bus as well.
I don't have the answer. I don't have a way to find.
So there's an additional compressor there as well, just acting more like a leveler. You can see very slow attack and release times. That's running through an EQ. The EQ we actually set up to be dynamic. There was something that we wanted to pull out there, so you can see that it's being triggered. I don't have the answer. I don't have a way to find. Via an audio sidechain to bring down that frequency when the vocal is playing. That also runs into a mid-band, multi-band split. We've got a little bit of saturation from Bitwig again, just on the high ends, just to kind of bring that out a little bit more. We have a slap delay set up with delay plus, and that runs into a convolution reverb that is also sidechained to the input of the vocals, so that the vocals kind of duck the reverb out of place. And you can see I've actually EQ'd quite a bit of the vocals out here as well.
I don't have the answer.
Or the reverb, I should say.
I don't have the answer. I don't have a way to find. I'm falling away because every time you're stuck in my mind.
The reverb also sort of is automated in and out in places. You can see it just kind of starts off with more reverb there, kind of drops out a little bit later on. We then went ahead and duplicated a lot of these channels. So this year I use Isotope Nectar for quite a bit, but we wanted to kind of duplicate that effect of having that harmonizer kind of thing. We did the same year, but we just adjusted the formants. See, the formants were moved out and the pitch is moved on some of these. Like this one, for example, the pitch is shifted slightly. Formants again. And it's really small adjustments for the pitch there. And you end up with this kind of chorused choir effect.
You know you break me down.
They also panned out left and right.
You know you break me down.
So you get a really nice kind of wide sound there. We play it back with the lead vocals again.
You know you break me down. I can't get out, but
we also used another pitch shifted section here, this lead octave in this part. You can hear it plays an octave above.
Feeling your temptation, no more hesitation. Every situation leaves me behind. Give an indication. No.
Just to kind of add a little bit of variation on that section. So apart from the lead octaves, we've also got this dry channel. So this was a big part of the arrangement. We've got a few sections where it kind of goes completely dry. This part here, we've just got dry with no reverb, no delays, anything.
Give an indication, no interpretation. I try. Tell me I'm not wasting my time.
And then we've got various little reverb and delay throws in here too. Certain little words we pulled out. that just provide a little bit of interest. There's the reverb throws, there's delay throw here too. Take a listen to that.
You take control and I keep feeling your temptation. No more hesitation. Every situation leaves me behind. Give an indication.
And lastly, we did some of the additional vocals here. This kind of works in the build-up. Just kind of ad-libs. They come back when the track drops at the end. And then some sort of reversed ambient reverbs as well, just to make up a little bit of space in the track. And these are just done with sort of very simple tools, just reversing audio, stretching audio out, and then applying reverb to them. So that pretty much covers everything in the track. Obviously, we did a number of things in the arrangement, little tricks here and there, little fills and things. And the end result is this.
You know you break me down. I can't get out, but I try to tell me I'm not wasting my time. You know you break me down. I can't get out, but I try to tell me I'm not wasting my time.
Cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want to go check out the full walkthrough, head over to sonicacademy.com. We've got the whole series there from the start of the production right through to the mastering. You can also go check out the Able Faces tutorial on how those vocals were written and created. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you soon right here at Sonic Academy. Till then, cheers.